On November 7th, 2024, Emma Chamberlain released an episode of her podcast, Anything Goes, that would shake her longtime fandom. 3 minutes into the episode, titled What My Meltdowns Have Shown Me, Emma opened up about her first romantic relationship at 17 years old and what this experience taught her. She didn't name who she was in a relationship with, but longtime Emma fans immediately knew that she was more than likely referring to then YouTuber Ethan Dolan.
Let me take you back to when I was 17 years old and I got into my first romantic relationship. It was very exciting for me. It was also something that I never thought would work out for me. I was always really insecure about what I provide as a woman. Not to get so deep with it all of a sudden, but I've always been somebody who maybe was a bit more humorous. Like, I think my dominant personality trait growing up was humor and silliness, not femininity. I didn't have a super stereotypically feminine body. I went through puberty late, so I didn't have curves, I didn't have boobs, I didn't have butt. That came later. And so I was always very insecure about myself as a woman. And so it was a huge accomplishment for me to be accepted by a boy, and not just any boy. This was a boy that I had had a crush on for a very long time. And he did not like me at first, but eventually he did, and we dated, and it was this magical thing. It was like doing the impossible times two. Dating this guy that I liked for a really long time and disproving the idea that I was not attractive to guys because I didn't have a feminine enough personality and body and whatever. So this was really good for me in the beginning. And, the relationship lasted for about 9 months. I won't get into the details. It had its highs, it had its lows. It was not all sunshine and rainbows, but it also wasn't all negative. There were some really great moments there. We ultimately ended up breaking up after 9 months. Now, I know what you're thinking, Emma, that's a very short relationship. Yeah, no, that relationship seemed like a lifetime to me because everything was so new. When things are new, psychologically, time moves slower. And when I tell you, I thought I was warning, I'm about to get a big graphic here. I thought when we broke up, I was going to die.
This segment of Emma's podcast sent a wave of nostalgia through her fandom, drumming up hundreds of articles, videos, and commentary dissecting Emma and Ethan, or Ethma, as they were affectionately dubbed, and their alleged relationship 6 years later. But it wasn't just Ethma lore that saw a resurgence upon Emma's podcast release. The episode also opened discussion about the pair's origins within the Sister Squad. This is an exploration into the rise and fall of one of Gen Z's favorite YouTube collectives, the Sister Squad. From its formation to its impact to the parasocial relationship fans still have for the group to this very day. From Centennial World, I'm Lauren Meisner, and this is Infinite Scroll, a podcast about internet culture, the creator economy, and how social media is shaping Gen Z. Welcome back to Infinite Scroll, everyone. I am so excited to be bringing you guys this deep dive. This was an episode that Annabelle conceptualized months and months ago, and then we started to see other commentary creators and podcasts popping up doing their own deep dives. So we said, okay, let's pause this. Let's not consume this content and let's let it die down a bit so it doesn't look like we're, copying or something. And then we will bring it back. So this was Annabelle's personal labor of love. She was a Sister Squad stan. So you guys can thank her for this episode. As always, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us so much. It helps us grow. We're trying to reach 1,000 Spotify reviews. And please sign up to our newsletter, which is also called Infinite Scroll. On Fridays, we round up the 5 biggest think pieces from the internet that week. There are so many moments from the 2018 to 2019 influencer era that still live on in internet culture, whether it was the viral egg photo or the college admission scandal that had everyone invested. But one thing people can't seem to let go of is the Sister Squad. If you were online at the time, you definitely remember them. But just in case, let's do a little rewind. The Sister Squad was made up of some of the biggest creators of that era. Ethan and Grayson Dolan, together the Dolan twins, James Charles, and of course, Emma Chamberlain. These days, Emma is obviously the biggest name of that group, but back then, she was only just starting out. Emma started her YouTube channel in June 2016, but the oldest video still available is a try-on thrift haul from June 2017. She has deleted her earliest content, likely as her content evolved and she became more aware of her brand, something that many of us end up doing as we get older, whether we become a famous influencer or not. Though she only officially started uploading in 2016, she had been a longtime fan of YouTube, saying in various interviews that she had grown up watching creators and making videos with her friends. Her decision to start posting publicly was influenced by her dad, who encouraged her to find an outlet outside of school. In a 2019 interview with the New York Times, she explained that she was struggling to find something she genuinely enjoyed, and YouTube became that creative escape. But her first real breakthrough came in 2017 with a dollar store haul video, which unexpectedly went viral. From there, the growth was explosive. Just 2 years after launching her channel, she had already amassed 8 million subscribers. Today, that number sits at 12.1 million. We have discussed what differentiated Emma before, but there were a couple of key factors. First, it was her editing style. At a time when most YouTubers followed a very professional format, Emma's videos felt fresh. She relied on rapid jump cuts, zoom-ins, awkward silences, and real-time footage of herself editing while lounging in bed. This fast-paced, self-aware approach resonated with viewers and has since been widely imitated by other creators. Second, her relatability. Unlike the polished, aspirational influencers dominating YouTube at the time, Emma leaned into being unfiltered and even self-deprecating. She made videos about everyday activities, thrifting, getting coffee, chatting to the camera, turning mundane moments into entertainment. And finally, her collaborations, particularly with the Sister Squad. By the time she moved to LA in 2018, just a year after going super viral, she was already one of the fastest growing creators on the platform. But teaming up with James Charles and the Dolan twins only solidified her status in the space, exposing her to an even wider audience. Now, James is another creator we've covered extensively on this podcast. Of course, the Sister Squad era was before James faced numerous scandals, so keep that in mind as we recap all of this. I'm sure we all remember how James went viral, but his rise to fame was also relatively quick. His journey started in 2015 when he began posting makeup content online. While he was steadily gaining a following, his real breakthrough came in late 2016, when a photo of him retaking his senior portrait with a ring light went viral. From there, he leveraged his viral moment into a full-fledged influencing career. He became CoverGirl's first ever male brand ambassador, appeared on The Ellen Show, and soon cemented himself as one of the biggest beauty YouTube creators on the platform. He, of course, became known for his colorful makeup tutorials and his constant use of the word sister.
Hi, sister!
James clearly had a knack for creating, or perhaps capitalizing, on viral moments. From the flashback Mary picture to the Sister Squad, James wasn't just a beauty guru. He was a defining figure for this era of YouTube. And finally, we have the Dolan twins. Grayson and Ethan Dolan actually gained popularity online before either James or Emma. As twins, they started posting content on Vine around 2013, sharing exactly what you would expect for two teenage boys at the time. Some videos were comedic, and others were, of course, thirst traps. While the Dolan twins were not exactly a part of the Vine creator collective MagCon, they were associated with some of the members, namely Cameron Dallas. The twins soon pivoted to YouTube, making their channel on March 10th, 2014. The first video available on their channel today is titled The Blender Challenge and was uploaded July 13th of that year. The two blended various ingredients together and had to take a sip at the end. A video that feels very of its time. Nevertheless, the twins developed a very loyal fan base, with much of their following being teenage girls. Ethan and Grayson also ended up moving to LA from their home in New Jersey when they were 15 years old, which allowed them to really lean into content creation while also going to school online. Now, that brings us to the beginning of the infamous Sister Squad, the informal creator collective that Emma, James, and the twins were a part of. The group's first collaboration was posted in June 2018, with 3 videos posted across Emma, James, and the twins' YouTube channel. On Emma's channel, the Dolan twins and James Charles essentially gave her an LA makeover. In the video titled Turning Me Into an LA Girl featuring James Charles and the Dolan twins, James did Emma's makeup, they picked out what they deemed an LA appropriate outfit, and they gave her a crash course on the so-called LA attitude. While the 4 definitely had great on-screen chemistry and seemed friendly, there was an interesting dynamic at play beneath the surface. Emma was still new to the YouTube scene, whereas James and the Dolan twins had already established themselves as major creators. This often led them to poking fun at Emma, especially for her outfits and the way she presented herself. Looking back, it's ironic, considering Emma has since solidified herself as a Gen Z fashion icon. Meanwhile, the four filmed an IHOP mukbang for the Dolan Twins channel, while James taught Emma and the twins how to do makeup on his own channel. All three videos were massive, with James's video currently sitting at 31 million views, the Dolans at 23 million, and Emma's at 25 million. During the mukbang, they reminisced about how they first met and became friends. Ethan originally DM'd James after noticing him commenting on his content, while Grayson discovered Emma's videos on YouTube and reached out to her. They all became friends, and Emma, who was already a fan of the Dolan twins, became part of their circle after they went bowling together. Fatefully, in James's makeup video, he introduced the group as his Sister Squad, a name that would go on to be forever associated with the group. It stemmed from James's constant use of the word sister during this era. Now, there were no shortage of iconic moments throughout the Sister Squad era. With this in mind, we won't be able to cover all of them, but we have included a few notable ones. One video that many social media users consider to be the peak of Sister Squad is their road trip to Las Vegas. Posted on Emma's channel, this vlog is arguably their most iconic and one of their most viewed videos, sitting at 40 million views. The 20-minute long video follows the group as they drive to Vegas and document their trip, which included ziplining, shopping, and splurging on designer items. This was the height of flex culture on YouTube, where creators regularly showcased their wealth through luxury hauls and over-the-top purchases. And while the Sister Squad leaned into a more casual, relatable style of content, they still fed off this culture, incorporating elements of flex culture even in their seemingly carefree videos. Part of what made this video so iconic was how much it felt like a teenage dream come to life. For many viewers who were around the same age as the Sister Squad, watching a group of teens road tripping to Las Vegas, shopping for designer items, and just having fun was pure escapism, especially for those stuck in high school. Beyond that, the group just had an undeniable chemistry. They seemed like the kind of friends everyone wanted to have, and Emma's vlogging style only amplified that feeling. While all of them let viewers into their world, Emma's willingness to record anything and everything made her videos feel the most immersive. Aside from the Las Vegas trip, the Sister Squad's gift exchange video became one of their most iconic videos. This video, uploaded in December 2018, was a major moment for fans, but it wasn't the first time the group had surprised each other with extravagant gifts. Back in August 2018, for example, James posted a video titled "Best Friends Buy Each Other Outfits," where they paired up and picked out outfits for one another. In the video's description, James even noted that their makeovers totaled over $10,000. At the time of recording, this is actually the most viewed Sister Squad video, sitting at 41 million views. But this video was just a prelude for what was to come. For Christmas that year, the Dolan twins posted gift exchange videos to their channel, while Emma's contribution to the collaboration was more vlog-style content, where they took a family photo with Santa. This became an iconic video in its own right, mostly because there was a clip of James dramatically wiping out in the middle of the shopping center after picking up Christmas sweaters for the group. On top of this, James posted a video where the group made gingerbread houses, but more on that later. In the video, the twins spliced together footage of them shopping for gifts with each person's reaction to receiving them. It was clear that everyone in the Sister Squad went all out, turning the gift exchange into something bigger than just a casual holiday tradition. Some of the most memorable gifts included Grayson building a skate park for Ethan, Ethan giving James a customized sister bench, and Grayson gifting James a personalized sister piano. The extravagance of it all made the video feel like a mix of heartwarming and over the top, a perfect reflection of Sister Squad content. By the end of 2018, it was clear that the Sister Squad had cemented their influence on YouTube. Their popularity was undeniable, to the point that they were featured together in YouTube Rewind 2018, appearing in a scene where they sat in a car floating through space. Aside from just making engaging content, part of the reason people were so obsessed with the Sister Squad was speculation around Ethan and Emma, or should I say, Ethma. Now, I won't go too deep into all the speculation because at the time, Ethan and Emma were both really young. But it's worth talking about how viewers reacted to their alleged relationship because Ethan and Emma fans were locked in, with the next level detective work taking place. Obviously, this would have been really overwhelming for both Emma and Ethan, especially if they were navigating their first serious relationship. But a few key moments gave fans just enough to work with, and they ran wild. It all started in May 2018 when Emma collaborated with Tana Mongeau at Playlist Live. The video has since been deleted, but in it, Emma admitted that she had been a long-time Dolan Twins stan, and that Ethan was her favorite.
I was a huge Dolan stan, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that I grew out of it, I just realized that they're too hot for me. And then at that point, they became unattainable. Honestly, so like for the whole time it was Grayson, right? And like once I stopped just like looking at pictures of them and I watched the videos, I was like, maybe I'm Ethan.
Once the sister squad started hanging out, fans were connecting the dots. YouTube was quickly flooded with somewhat invasive compilations of the group, with people pointing out subtle moments where Ethan and Emma felt like they were in a relationship. One of the earliest cues was from a July 4th jet ski photo that Emma and Ethan posted together. In hindsight, fans of male celebrities and influencers always spiral when they're seen with a woman, so this wasn't exactly new. But the real moment that sent fans into a craze happened later that year when YouTuber Tom Ward interviewed Emma at her house. In the background of the video, fans spotted Polaroids of Emma and Ethan together. Then suddenly, the video was deleted and re-uploaded with the background blurred. Later came the Dolan Twins lie detector test video, where Ethan was almost forced to admit he was dating someone. And of course, the Sister Squad haunted house video, where Grayson seemed to reveal Emma was Ethan's girlfriend, but bleeped out the label in editing. "We love when Grayson exposes Emma and Ethan's relationship," one user commented. There was also the crusty lips tweet in early 2019. At some point, Emma got dragged online for having quote-unquote crusty lips, and Ethan came to her defense. Quote, "Her lips definitely aren't crusty," he tweeted in response. He later tried to play it off, saying it was just because Emma was always talking about chapstick, but fans did not buy it. There were plenty of other moments that kept these theories alive, but those were some of the big ones. And while Emma and Ethan may have played into it at the time, there's no denying that the pressure must have been insane. This was likely their first serious relationship, and they were constantly being watched and scrutinized. It's something worth remembering when it comes to influencers. So many of them are young and trying to figure things out, and this kind of intense observation isn't healthy. With all that said, it's pretty safe to assume that all of this took a toll on the friend group. While we don't know exactly what led to the Sister Squad's breakdown, fans definitely picked up on a weird vibe between the four toward the end of 2018. One of the biggest red flags came during the same collab cycle as the gift exchange video, but it was the video posted to James's channel titled Best Friends Build a Gingerbread Dream House featuring Emma Chamberlain and Dolan Twins. James actually admitted at the start of this video that this wasn't their first attempt at filming it.
Fun fact for you, we've actually already filmed this video once last week, and it was probably the worst video we've ever filmed.
Fans noticed the tension, but at the time, most of the blame fell on the audience. People argued that the pressure from fans, especially the obsession with Ethan and Emma, made it impossible for the group to act normally. And while that was probably part of it, in hindsight, many believe there was more going on behind the scenes. This is especially because this Christmas collab cycle ended up being the last time the group made content all together. As one user commented 2 years after the video was posted, "The energy in this video makes me so uncomfortable. Like with Emma and Ethan obviously being in a fight, and with James making all these sexual jokes towards Grayson, it legit seems like the only people being nice to each other are Grayson and Emma. No wonder why they stopped hanging out." There was some concern around the dynamic between James and Grayson at the time. For instance, at the end of 2018, James tweeted, "I wish people would stop overanalyzing popular influencer friendships on social media. Just enjoy it for what it is. Some of the rumors are beyond crazy, it's toxic, frustrating, and can really start to affect us in private." While it remains unclear who exactly James was referring to, many fans took it as a reference to his friendship with Grayson, and the way James would play up having a crush on him. Though, of course, this tweet could have also been about Ethan and Emma. That being said, many fans would go on to defend James, saying that it was all for entertainment purposes. But after the Bi-Sister scandal, people started looking back at their interactions a little differently. Whether it was just for cameras or not, the whole thing left viewers feeling somewhat uncomfortable. Now, bi-sister is essential knowledge for this podcast, and if you are listening, you probably know what went down. But to make a very long story short, on May 11th, 2019, James's career came crashing down overnight. While on tour in Australia, the beauty guru woke up to a 43-minute video posted by his friend and mentor, Tati Westbrook, titled Bi-Sister. In the video, Tati made several accusations, including claims that James was disloyal and money hungry, which came about after James posted an Instagram story promoting Sugar Bear Hair after attending Coachella with the brand. For context, Sugar Bear Hair was a direct competitor to Tati Westbrook's Halo Beauty. Aside from these claims of betrayal, Tati also accused the then teenager of using his fame to manipulate straight men into sexual relationships. Almost immediately, James lost millions of followers. Around this time, many fans also noticed that Emma, Grayson, and Ethan were no longer following James. This was seemingly the nail in the coffin for the Sister Squad. As we all know, James later posted 2 response videos. The first, titled Tati, didn't go over well, with many people finding it inauthentic, leading him to eventually delete it. His second video, No More Lies, changed the course of the scandal. To date, it is still the most viewed video on his channel, currently sitting at 57 million views. In the video, James sets the record straight, providing receipts and saying that Tati's accusations hurt him deeply. Soon, the narrative had shifted entirely, with the internet back on his side. Even so, these allegations, along with the supposed weirdness between him and Grayson, have lingered in conversations about James and his reputation. This has only been compounded by other scandals he's faced, particularly those involving allegations of inappropriate relationships with minors. With that being said, it's clear a lot has happened between the group since the ill-fated Gingerbread House video. At the time, most fans didn't realize it would be the last time the Sister Squad would collaborate. After that, there were a few instances where Emma worked with the Dolan twins and James separately, but never as a group again. Initially, many assumed the split was due to the Dolan twins coping with the tragic loss of their father, who passed away from cancer at the beginning of 2019. The twins understandably stepped back from the internet for a time, which was widely supported by their fans. However, the reaction from some corners of the internet was intense, with certain fans trying to find ways to attend their father's funeral or wake, adding even more pressure to an already devastating time. Later that year, Emma did reunite with the twins for a YouTube video. In one video, the Dolan twins quote-unquote became Emma Chamberlain, while on Emma's channel, they attempted to take high school finals. One of the last times Emma was publicly seen with Ethan Dolan was on July 12, 2019, when Hollywood Fix caught them outside a SoulCycle class. When asked if they were officially dating, Ethan and Emma responded with,
"Set in stone." That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah, but we say it.
But I mean,
Not yet.
In 2020, Emma refollowed James on Instagram, and on September 2nd, they collaborated again on 2 videos. Emma Chamberlain picks my outfit for a week and doing James Charles's makeup. They lightly acknowledged past tensions, with James even hinting at it in a TikTok where he and Emma play fought, captioning it, "an accurate depiction of the last 2 years." However, Emma has since taken down her collabs with James, with fans speculating that it was due to the allegations that later surfaced about James's relationships with minors. Since then, the former Sister Squad members have reflected on that era, without being too direct, of course. In July 2020, for example, the Dolan twins made a video addressing assumptions about us, where they addressed the Sister Squad. While they didn't go into specifics, they made it clear they hadn't kept in touch.
We actually haven't talked to them in a while,
reinforcing that whatever happened behind the scenes wasn't just about growing apart. It was some kind of legitimate split. James has made similarly vague comments about the Sister Squad. In December 2020, he did a career ranking video where he placed the group in the probably not again, but happy for the experience tier. He explained that they were all at different points in their lives and careers and needed to go in different directions.
When I think back at the Sister Squad, this was a big part of my career. It lasted for like an entire year, so there's definitely a lot of different moments that would be ranked, at different places throughout this list. There's no denying that the Sister Squad was a huge part of my career and was honestly, as much as I hate the word, iconic. It was really cool to film these crazy, over-the-top videos with, at the time, my best friends in the entire world.
Then, on May 28th, 2022, James Charles released a video titled Reacting to My Most Iconic Videos, where he revisited a Sister Squad video of them buying outfits for each other. While watching, he reflected on that period.
Watching a video back like this really does make me emotional. This was such a beautiful time in my life. I just loved being with this group of people so much.
While James and the Dolan twins have made occasional comments about the Sister Squad, Emma has arguably alluded to it the most. This is likely because she remains the most active in media and continues to create personal content through her podcast. In August 2020, during a Hollywood Fix paparazzi interview, Emma was asked if a reunion with the Dolan twins was possible. She responded with,
"No promises on that one."
A comment that many fans took as confirmation that their alleged relationship was over. 2 years later, on Call Her Daddy, Emma opened up about feeling used by certain friends and the transactional nature of friendships in LA. She said she felt taken advantage of, especially when it came to YouTube collaborations. While she enjoyed doing collaborations, she often felt pressured to participate because certain creators were more successful than her at the time. Though she didn't name names, many fans speculated that she was referring to the Sister Squad. Aside from that comment, Emma hasn't really discussed specific friendships that frequently, but she has spoken about her previous relationships, which sleuths often connect to Ethan. For instance, in another episode of the Anything Goes podcast, Emma revealed her nicotine addiction and spoke about how a previous partner shamed her for vaping. Listeners associated this to Ethan partially because of the timelines, but also because the Dolan twins were very public about being sober. But last year was when Emma seemingly started opening up about the relationship more. In a podcast episode with Owen Thiel from August of last year, Owen asked Emma if she had ever been cheated on. And she said,
That is a great question. I would say technically, no. However, for a long time, I felt like I did because one of the guys I dated, we broke up and then we got back together, but it was not really official. And I kept being we can't hook up unless you're only talking to me. And then the communication there was so spotty that he was fucking everyone.
And of course, most recently in her What My Meltdowns Have Shown Me episode posted November 2024, as mentioned in the intro, Emma revealed more details about her first breakup with seemingly Ethan Dolan. Emma shared that this breakup was particularly difficult, and that despite the separation, they continued to hook up. This ambiguity left Emma in a painful situation, where she was still emotionally invested despite his lack of commitment.
At a certain point, I was like, you know what? I need to try to get him back. And so I did. Started talking to him again. We started hanging out as friends again. And it was not a super healthy situation because he did not want to date me again. He was pretty clear, I still would hook up or whatever, but I'm not committing to anyone right now. I don't want to date anyone right now. I'm not going to be exclusive with anyone right now. And that did not work for me. I was like, well, okay, I guess we just have to be friends then, because I cannot emotionally hook up with you, be physical with you, knowing that you're with other people. I can't do that. I just can't psychologically do that. It's too painful for me. But then we'd end up hooking up on accident.
Ethan has not publicly addressed the speculation surrounding his past with Emma and her comments. The Dolan twins have largely retreated from the online space, staying out of the public eye except for a few notable updates. In 2023, the twins shared that they had created a short film together, marking one of their few public projects since stepping away from social media. Additionally, in mid-2024, Ethan shared the news of his marriage to Australian model Christina Alice. As of 2025, no members of the Sister Squad follow each other on Instagram, aside from Grayson and Ethan, obviously. Though short-lived, the Sister Squad era marks an impactful moment in internet culture history. The collective highlighted the power of a YouTube friend group, both from a career growth perspective and also from a parasocial perspective. For many young YouTube viewers at the time, the Sister Squad was one of their first experiences having a parasocial relationship with a group, rather than an individual. And navigating that parasocial relationship when the group dynamic changed has led to an overwhelming amount of nostalgia for the time these creators had together. 6 years after the Sister Squad era seemingly came to an end, it's still debated whether the group were really friends offline or if their friendship was all for show. Many fans believe they played into what the audience wanted, including the Ethma rumors, while others are convinced that the group's bond was authentic. Ultimately, though we'll never know for sure what was true and what was exaggerated, one thing is for certain: the impact that the Sister Squad had on their audience and the trajectory of the respective careers of Ethan Dolan, Grayson Dolan, Emma Chamberlain, and James Charles was real. Infinite Scroll is a podcast produced, presented, and co-written by me, Lauren Meisner, for Centennial World. This episode was researched and written by Annabelle Ben-David. Additional research was completed by Emily Griffiths. Editing is by Danny Fennick. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.